Alright, fuckers. Back again for another knife review. This is the Jim Burke production Rockstar. Here's the gnarly box that it comes in. Lee Nottingham Jr. is the CNC specialist, I guess, that helps produce these production version knives of Jim Burke's. Lee Nottingham's supposed to be like I don't know, some kind of mechanical engineer or something, I think, before he started doing this, or maybe he still is. Anyways, I don't know, and Jim Burke is Jim Burke. From the little I know about Jim Burke and have seen Jim Burke, he seems kind of redneck, but obviously he knows what he's doing. But he definitely seems country. But that's besides the point. So there's the box. Here's the knife. This is the black finish coat version, which you don't really see too often, or I don't see too often. All titanium pie clip, Rockstar. CPM 154. A lot of people say that these have 154 CM. They don't. They have CPM 154. That's two different steels. Yes, I know, before somebody comments and says, oh, you know, it's the same fucking steel. Well, it's not the same fucking steel because CPM steel is made different than 154 CM. A lot of the same properties, but CPM 154 is a lot better than 154 CM in my opinion. That's my opinion. And if you don't agree, leave a comment. We can argue about it or something. Here's the centering. Perfect. It's nice, really smooth. I know you've all heard that 1,000 times. Really smooth opening. Teflon washers. There's no stop pin in this knife. The stop pin is actually, there's like a grooved, like half moon channel on the inside of this scale. I think it's this one. And the stop pin is actually a press pin that's in the blade and it rides on that groove, which is actually really cool to me because I've never seen another knife like that. And I really like that. Jimping. It's pretty good jimping. There's Jim Burke. There's the CPM 154, not 154 CM. Here's a lockup. If I can get that to show up. There you go. Early lockup. All of his customs and productions have early lockup. That's just how they are. Doesn't bother me one bit. The lockup on this thing is super solid. I mean, better lockup than Hinder. Well, at least my Hinder. No blade play, none whatsoever, and that's with the pivot to the point where, I mean, it just feels like glass. I mean, well, I can't flick it out because I suck, but you get the point. It's extremely smooth, very smooth. It feels like, you know, a lot of people say it feels like a Sebenza. It doesn't feel like a Sebenza to me. Sebenza feels a lot more stiff. This feels like a Hinder. If you've ever handled a Hinder, how they're really smooth, kind of blade heavy, smooth. Also because the blade's pretty decent thickness on this. I'm not sure what it is. It's probably, I'd say probably 3.5 millimeters, but it's like thick throughout, and obviously it's wide, so it's blade heavy. So that's what it feels like. It feels like a Hinder, like just heavy blade, super smooth, really easy to open and close. Really nice, actually. A lot of people complain about the pocket clip, how maybe it can fall out of your pocket, but I didn't have that problem. I carried it today. I went to Bass Pro, and I walked around, you know, all day. I mean, and it didn't slip out of my pocket, you know, getting in and out of cars. I didn't have a problem. Pocket clip was good. If I had to give this knife one hit, there's a G10 backspacer. If I had to give this knife one hit, and I don't really care because it's still better than the Hinder, is the detent. It's not the strongest detent in the world, but it's not that big of a problem. Like, I mean, I was carrying around all day today, and it's not like it opened up. I mean, it might open up if I'm on like I don't know, like a dirt bike doing some like motocross riding or something, then it might open up, but it's not going to open up walking or even running, I don't think. But I mean, the D10's decent. You can see it here if I can get it to do it. You know, it sucks it down in there. It's just a heavy blade. When you have a knife with a heavy blade, it's going to be hard to get a really good D10 like the XM. The D10 on that knife isn't that great either. But it's only hit, I guess, on the knife, if you call that a hit. Centering. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm taking out of frame. Centering to me looks about perfect. I don't know if you can see that. It's a cell phone. I don't know, it looks good to me. Here's the blade, whatever you want to call that blade shape. I'm not good with that. It's got the swedge grinding to the top. Blade stays thick, really thick tip on this knife. I think the blade length is 3 1/4 and the handle is 4 1/2. Something like that. Perfect size for me for everyday carry. Not too big, not too small. That small Sebenza I had was a little bit small for me. Plus, I just like the overweight look of this. It almost looks better to me. I'm overweight. This knife's overweight. Like a perfect match. Yeah, I especially like this black one. I hadn't seen this one before. I got it, so this is the one I got. I'd never seen the black handle one. I mean, I'd seen it on one website. I think it retailed. They were selling it for like $330 or something. But I think ballpark on this exact one, Stonewash CPM 154, without the ridges. I don't like those ridges they put on some of them. I think this one is like anywhere from $300 to $350. New, if you can find it. The problem is you have a hard time finding these. At least I did. Another good thing about this knife that I want to mention is all of the hardware on this knife, like the actual screws, they're all T10 or T9. I can't remember. Either way, they're pretty big. They're all the same. So all these screws, the pivot, the thumb stud, the pocket clip screws, they all take the same size. And they're all, including the pivot, hardened 440C. And the pivot itself is made in-house by Lee Nottingham Jr. He actually makes the pivot. They don't outsource that pivot. Lee makes all the pivots for these knives. And then on top of that, whenever Lee's done with, making the knife, putting it together, CNCing the handle slabs and the blade or whatever, Jim Burke goes through and personally inspects every single one of these and does the final sharpening, and it came sharp. Really sharp. But, yeah. So, the jimping's good. I don't really ever care about jimping, but it doesn't look like it'd be good, but it's actually really good, which is weird as shit. It kind of looks like Strider-ish to me, but it's way better. I don't know. I really just like the overall look of this knife. To me, it's just a really cool looking knife. But that's the Jim Burke Production Rockstar. They do offer it with a titanium backspacer. It's like $70 more, which I don't really care about personally. But that's it. If you guys have any questions, just comment below. Thanks. Bye.